So just as I start to get my hopes up for Conor McGregor in terms of his health and in terms of getting a fight sorted, an interview comes out with him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and he looks awful. This is the worst we have seen Conor McGregor look in a long, long time. So I am going to play part of the interview to you guys. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's quite long, and also he pretty much acts the same throughout the entirety of the interview, so there'd be no point in me showing you the whole thing. I think just a little snippet will show you guys how bad Conor McGregor is looking at the moment. And before I show you the video, I want to say why I had my hopes up. And the reason why I had my hopes up with Conor McGregor was because the fight against Michael Chandler is apparently sorted. It's a done deal. According to McGregor, I believe it was on the Ariel Helwani show when he was talking, he did say this. And we heard him talk about how when he isn't fighting, when he doesn't have a fight going on, he tends to enjoy the vices in his life. So he tends to enjoy drinking, going out and partying. And he said this himself. I'll try and find the snippet for you guys if I can. I will play it. But yeah, he does like to drink and party and obviously do other stuff that I will not name when he doesn't have a fight going on because he feels lost. That's what I think of it. I think he feels lost. I think he feels useless. He has been a fighter his entire life. And to have that taken away from him, it's driving him crazy, in my opinion, and it drives him mad. Now, that is why he turns to these vices. And I thought with the Michael Chandler fight being secured, a done deal, he would finally focus. He would finally get his head down and start working hard, not be tempted by those vices. But then this interview comes out straight after the Ariel Helwani show, and he looks terrible. So let me play the interview.
12 movies made, I'm blessed to have entered into the movie alongside him. He was patient with me. He gave me guidance, and I just took it. We had a good rapport on set. He has 75 movies made. I have 75 bar fights made, and that's it.
He was good to me, and I sometimes had to remind him
I landed one punch
once.
and he hit me with a door. Other than that, it was absolutely perfect.
That's true.
An amazing stunt team, Gareth Warden and Steve Brown.
So I am going to stop you guys from having to see the rest of that interview because it was all the same. And he was constantly shrugging his shoulders for no reason. He was talking in an odd manner. He was struggling to get his words out. From what I see, I don't know if I'm overreacting. This is the worst I've seen Conor McGregor. And it's really, really sad to see a guy who was at the top of his game, one of the best talkers, one of the most entertaining fighters, and he is on this downward spiral, unfortunately. And you've got a question with him acting really, really odd, and with Ryan Garcia, who has also been acting really odd. Who do these guys have around them? Who do these guys have around them? Because I know that if I was in a state like that, the people around me would not be letting me do interviews, would not be allowing me to behave like that. They would stop me there and then. And I don't know who chose to put out this interview, but I think that was also a stupid decision because you can clearly see he is really not in a good place. And Jake Gyllenhaal as well. How are you allowing that interview to go out there? But yeah, you've got to question who these guys have around them. You've got to question what they are doing in their free time. And my hopes were really high. The fight is secured between him and Michael Chandler. Let's go. He's going to finally fix up his act. We're going to have Conor McGregor back in the UFC. But no, this completely threw me sideways in terms of my opinion. There's one big problem here, which is Conor McGregor says that when he's not fighting, he turns to the vices in his life. But you can't put someone into a fight that is acting the way he is acting. So for Dana White to see that, and for other people to see that, they will be thinking, we can't put this guy in a fight, look at him. So it kind of counters what he wants to happen. Do I make sense here? It's really hard to explain. But yeah, I don't know who decided to release that interview. I think that was stupid. I hope Conor McGregor gets better and gets the help he needs. Because yes, he's not fighting, and yes, he turns to his vices when he's not fighting. But I don't know if it's safe for him to enter a fight when he is in this state now. So it's a very, very hard decision that him and his team are going to have to make. And again, I'm not sure when this video was filmed or this interview itself was filmed. Right, it could have been right at the start of the tour. It could be now. I can't find the interview anywhere and confirm a date for you guys. But from what I can see, this guy needs to get help and this guy shouldn't be fighting. Now, I am, again, no expert on drugs and how people act when they take drugs. So if anyone or anyone that watches me or anyone that watches this video knows more than me and can sort of explain what is going on, that would be fantastic. If you guys could put that in the comments below, if you know more than me. I know nothing on these things. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. I'm just saying my opinion. That would be fantastic to me. If I had to dissect what's going on, I'd say he's on maybe a come down of a certain drug. That fine powder from Escobar is fantastic. Shouldn't be making jokes. I feel like he's on a come down. I feel like maybe it's a combination of things, that he's sleep deprived because obviously he's been doing all these interviews for Roadhouse. So possibly sleep deprivation, possibly cocaine come down. That sounded quite good, actually, the alliteration. And maybe a lack of sleep as well, because he's been very, very busy. Is the result, or the result is this, is him acting so weirdly. But if you know more than me, let me know in the comments below. I obviously don't want to see Conor McGregor like this. I am a massive, massive Conor McGregor fan. It's very hard to defend him with the amount of bullshit he does. But the whole reason I started watching MMA, and call me a casual all you want, the whole reason I started watching MMA and fell in love with MMA was this guy, right? He captured my attention, and once my attention was captured by him, I then started to learn about other fighters, and I started to look into, Khabib at the time. I was like, who's Khabib? And I sort of, what I would do was find out about their story and look into who they are as a person. Obviously, Aldo, I did the same. Eddie Alvarez, I looked at. I was like, who is he? Where's he come from? And then I sort of did that for every single fighter that I saw fight. And then I fell in love with the sport. And I ended up looking at the history of the sport and fighters previous, Chael Sonnen, Michael Bisping, Wanderlei Silva, those types of fighters. So the whole reason I fell in love with MMA was because of Conor McGregor. And call me a casual you want again. But it is sad to see such a great fighter on such a downward trajectory, if that makes sense. And yeah, so hopefully he gets better. I will be covering ONE FC, One Championship, on this channel from now on, because I've watched a couple of their fights. They're on Amazon Prime. I watched a couple of their events, sorry, not their fights. And I have to say, very, very entertaining, extremely high level. I know this has nothing to do with McGregor, but I thought I'd announce it here. I will be covering ONE Championship, or One Fighting Championship, on this channel, and I am looking forward to it. Obviously, you've got the likes of Demetrius Johnson in there, Rod Tang, and I'm starting to discover, the fighters within One Championship, sort of finding out about their stories and who is good, who's not, who's interesting. So I will be covering that on this channel. So if you want to see updates on UFC and One Championship, make sure to leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.